Okay, I'm not joking. I accidentally created a £1.3 million e-commerce system. Now, I'm going to explain exactly in this video how I went from doing nothing and no sales and no business experience, doing all the work in my business myself, to running a business that's done over £1.3 million and helping other people to scale their businesses without having to lift a finger on the day-to-day work. And the way I realized this, a lot of it was down to an accident that I just stumbled upon, and now I input it into other people's businesses. It runs my business for me, and it's been the biggest thing that I've ever learned. Now, this video is going to be one where I'm going to go through on the whiteboard. I'm going to get through it as quick as I can so you can go about your day. But if you can't put aside a few minutes to watch this and understand this huge hack that I stumbled across, then you've got no chance in scaling your business, because this makes such a huge difference so that you can make more money with less of your time. So to illustrate my point, we're going to be introduced to ecom owner Ian. Now, this is nothing against ecom owner Ian's, people called Ian, but this is just an analogy to explain the problem that I see new business owners have. This is what it looks like. The problems you have is that you're making sales, which is not the problem, but when you make those sales, you are stuck reacting to everything that happens in your business. So perhaps you've hired one VA, but ultimately, all day, you're either answering questions from the VA because they don't know what they're doing, or you're answering questions from your customers because you're still the one that needs to deal with the escalated issues or the returns or the ones that are a bit difficult to handle. And so every day you're stuck in reactive mode because you're getting sales coming in, but you wait until you wake up in the morning to find out what it is you need to work on that day. And ultimately, when you are this person, you don't have a chance of making it in the world of e-commerce, because you need to be able to scale, and you can't scale without your headspace being free enough to think about acquisition channels and how you're improving your marketing or how you're improving the range of products that you've got. You need to have headspace to do that. And if you're stuck in reactive mode, you'll never have that headspace in order to grow. So the payoff to this problem I've worked out by accident. Let me show you that now. So just a few years ago, setting up my e-commerce business, I was getting orders coming in and I hired my first virtual assistant. But all of these arrows indicate customers getting in touch, either making an order or making an inquiry, or maybe making an after sales, an issue that they've got back in touch with us after they purchase a product. All of them went to the VA, and sometimes if they were overloaded, they'd come straight to me. But ultimately, every time something came into my VA, a lot of the time I would have to be involved with helping out in these situations, because it's surprising how often a one-off situation turns up, because they feels like quite unique every time, especially when you're new to running an e-com store. It feels quite new. And therefore, my workload was still large because I was the one dealing with lots of customer service issues. And therefore, my brain was filled full of reacting all day, and I wasn't able to get away from the day-to-day to think about scaling. This is unhappy James Eardley, because James Eardley is also trying to run a business that enables me to travel, but I wasn't able to do that until I stumbled across this. I realized that the bottleneck was becoming the size of the team and how much we could deal with. So followed conventional wisdom, hired VA2 as soon as I realized that I had plenty of profit coming in and that we were overrun. And as soon as I had VA2, what I didn't realize and never foresaw until they came in, is that VA2, when they're getting the new level of orders and questions from customers that we've now split between the two VAs, instead of everything having to come to me, over the time that the VA1 had been in place, VA2 could go straight to VA1 to get all of their questions answered. So VA1 was no longer just a customer service and an order fulfillment and a representative that managed the store expertly. They were also somebody that could handle the questions that was coming from the new VA. And suddenly I was taken out of this equation, and these arrows that was me being bombarded with different questions and ideas reduced dramatically, because all of these new questions were being able to be handled by VA number one, and they would work together to overcome solutions. And so I changed this face. I went from being the unhappy business owner that was unable to think about scaling to the point where I was now able to look down upon the business because I was not being involved in all of the day-to-day. So everything I did could go this way, and I could find out if these guys were meeting the standards that I'd set, if we were hitting our KPIs in terms of conversion rate and how many sales and the ROAS that we were getting from our ad spend. And I could now scale the business, and I literally tripled the business after I hired my VA, because I could scale the ad spend. I knew it would be handled, and I knew that the two of them working together was incredible. Now, I was reminded of this recently when I brought on board a new client who I helped to hire 2 new VAs for. And I realized, I remembered this story of how you don't need to be the bottleneck as the business owner to all of the questions that come in from new virtual assistants. And straight away, I put these 2 new VAs for my client's business in touch with my own VAs who have been working with me now for up to 3 years. My first VA, 3 years. My second VA, she's been working with me for 2 years. And they're immediately in touch with somebody doing a very, very similar job. And therefore, these questions that would have come from the 2 VAs to my client, my friend, my business owner that I know well, instead of him having to answer all of these questions, these guys could go straight to the existing VAs that are in place, and therefore there didn't need to be the constant back and forth between business owners and VAs. And this has been an accident, but it's totally transformed the way that myself, my clients, can run their business because they're in touch with VAs, are in touch with each other. They can ask questions. So things like, I don't know, I've had a customer get in touch. They've asked if I can create a discount for them. How do I do that? Because they're new to using Shopify. Or I've had a customer get in touch. They've asked, how do we return? But my supplier's warehouse is not accepting returns. How do we handle these issues? It's now handled by VAs. There's a team in place that can handle these for you. So not only have you got the benefit of hiring new VAs, you've also got the benefit of hiring new VAs and hiring a VA support system as part of the new VAs that you sign. So when you do it, consider the fact that when you have a new VA on board, they'll have questions. And if you don't have a way to manage those questions, you'll end up just being the bottleneck to the business. So I hope this video has shown you that you're the bottleneck unless you pull people in that can help you with the day-to-day running of your business. You can make more money and spend less time doing the busy work in your business. If you want the resources, if you want me to help you to hire VAs, or if you want me to give you a VA hiring toolkit or the SOPs that I use, send me a message on Instagram and we can have a chat. I'll send you all the resources and I can help you out through that process. With that said, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you in the next one.